Welcome to the Wolverine Digest podcast, the best spot for objective and authentic coverage of Michigan athletics. If you want open dialogue, honest opinions, and in-depth coverage of the maize and blue, this is the podcast for you. And now, here's your host, Brandon Brown, joined as always by Chris Breiler.
I was going to start by saying go blue.
What is going on, everybody, on a Friday? Live on location. Your boys, we're in the Hoosier State. We're not quite to Bloomington, but we're close.
It's fancy over here. It's fancy.
It's fancy this side of town. And yes, the tips are frosted.
Are they already asking? I can't see the comments.
Let me lean in. Oh, baby. You know, when your boys roll into Indiana and you're staying in an up-class location, you got people looking at you. You got, what are those guys doing?
Yeah, ooh.
Oh, they're from out of town.
Yeah.
This right here really lets them know.
It's what separates the boys from the men, I feel like.
If you look here or here, you'll see exactly what went down.
Yeah.
Now, I will say, Chris, you rolled up today, heading south, obviously. You came from your house. You picked me up.
I did.
I walked outside. Disappointed? Were you a little disappointed in the level of frostiness?
Listen, I expected like bleach blonde spots and tips all over the head, and you did, instead of frosted tips, I would call it like a dusting of the top a little bit. There's like a little bit up there, but it's not as bold as I expected it to be. So yeah, I'm a little surprised. I'm a little shocked.
Hadn't done it in probably 20 years. My mom was there. She did it again for me. She's done it hundreds of times. I went and got a haircut this morning. I put the cap on, and for anybody who hasn't done frosted tips, it's sectioned, right? The cap's got like a middle section, some side panels, a back panel, trying to play it safe. I don't want cheetah spots on the side of the fade. I just wanted to keep it up top. And I think we could have went a little more aggressive. I think we could have went a little more aggressive with the, with the holes, with the hair being pulled through. Anyway, I did what I did. I did what I did. I think people are going to be happy with it. I texted Chris. I'm like, it doesn't look funny. It just looks like I'm really trying to rock frosted tips. Like I'm really going for it. I guess maybe I'll go with a full box goatee and just really complete the 90s look.
That might be too much power. That would be like if did we settle on if it was Thanos or Thanos or
Thanos.
Listen, I can't remember. Okay, Thanos. If you do the box goatee with the frosted tips, that's like when Thanos gets the final stone to the glove.
Yeah.
You'll be unstoppable.
Yeah. So anyway, if I remove real quick this, and we'll settle, we'll move on from the frosted tips. But
yeah, it's a little. Not quite as bold.
I think it's more than a dusting, but
a smearing, perhaps.
I was going for what I was going for, and this is how it came together. I couldn't be happier. Is
anybody watching the show, by the way? I can't see the numbers.
No, it's just me and you. It's just me and you. But no, we are here in Indianapolis, actually a little south of Indianapolis.
We are
on the south side of Indianapolis, so we're a little closer to Bloomington than being on the north side of Indy or coming down, whatever. So we got about an hour left. We'll make that journey in the morning. We'll get to Bloomington. We'll get set up. We'll be ready to roll. And here we are. And we're starting the show pretty much on time. We were like 5 minutes late. I feel good about it.
Yeah.
I saw Chris eat a 10-piece spicy nugget from Wendy's on the way here.
Your boy had to cheat on the diet just a little bit. Had a
little bit of everything going. Chris is doing God's work out there. He forgot his headset. He forgot his micro. How is everything going where you're set up? We decided not to be in the same room, otherwise we'd get like echo and this weird back and forth. So I don't even know where Chris is right now.
I mean, I'm down in the lobby. There's some fancy music playing. The ambiance is great. There's really not much to complain about. There's a nice little bar area down here. There's some action. I've seen a couple Michigan fans walk in already, so we're clearly not the only ones who thought this might be the ticket. But I think we got to hit up the Severn bar a little bit later. I think that's calling our name for sure.
All right, so I had to shed a layer real quick. It's getting a little toasty up here as we start talking everything. But so and we're I don't know. I'm not gonna come out of the gate and say this is gonna be a short show, but we are on location here. We haven't even really got settled in. I mean, we literally kind of walked in, threw our stuff down, try to get set up. Let's get going.
That's dedication. That's how committed we are.
So we've got some things we want to get done. I got a couple more stories I'd like to put some effort into tonight before we get going here. But we're gonna go through what we go through. We're gonna do You're Dumb, You're Smart. We're gonna go through my predictions, see what you guys are thinking about that. We've got a topic or two to cover, and then of course we'll finish out with our predictions. We might skip over a couple other things, but again, when you're road dogging it, dude, you make it work how you can make it work. Do you hear me?
He's a dog.
That's what you do, man. Got to get it done when you got to get it done. So. I mean, the first thing, dude, Chris, this kind of hit the waves last night. I know you put up an article about it. It took off. People are talking about it everywhere. It's obviously become a Michigan State thing. But Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, teammates for the Golden State Warriors, got into it at practice. That was the news broke last night. And then earlier today, a video from the practice came out. I guess it kind of starts there. You were surprised by the reception of the video because you and I both watched it. It looks pretty much like Draymond Green is a dickbag here, right? Like, I mean, Jordan
Poole. We already knew that.
Yeah, we did know that. I mean, even if JP is running his mouth a little bit, everything that happens is from Draymond Green being the aggressor and getting up in his face, chest bumping him, getting in his personal space, and then it just escalated from there.
Yeah, I mean, it's strange. We put out the video and I saw some of the reception, and most people can see it for what it is. But I mean, at no point in time is Jordan Poole the aggressor here. I mean, and I said it in a couple of the responses on Facebook, but Draymond Green has to walk about 20 feet to get over to where Jordan Poole is. And it's not like he just walks up to him and gets inside of his personal space, but he makes physical contact with him. He chest bumps him. And I don't know about you, Brandon. I don't know how you operate. You can maybe talk to Mrs. Winged Helmet about this and how I operate. But if you come in my personal space and you make contact with me, like, probably going to throw hands. Like, that's just the way it is. But that's who Draymond Green has been his entire career. He's an agitator. He's a bit of a clown. He's a loudmouth. He runs his mouth all the time. I mean, he's kicking people in the junk. He's grabbing people in the junk. This is the way Draymond Green operates. And I think it's probably partially due to the fact that I think his place on that team is a little more questionable at this point. I don't think he's as needed there in Golden State as maybe he was in years past, and Jordan Poole is about to get a lucrative contract. And so there's a part of that there. Maybe the part of the rivalry kind of kicked into place. But I just, look, man, to me, when I saw Draymond Green do that and all the other shit he does on the court, it's like, you know why guys like that do it on the court, or they do it in practice. Because if they really had an issue and wanted to handle it, you handle it outside of those places. But when you do stuff like that on the court, you do it because you know you're protected and it can't really escalate further than that. So I think it just speaks further to the kind of guy that Draymond Green is. It's played out. He's not nearly as talented as you would want to be able to put up with the kind of bullshit that comes along with him. I hope Golden State cuts him, and I hope that's it for him in the league. I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it, dude. I'm over the clown show. Like, if you're not good enough talent-wise to make a name for yourself and you start doing shit like this, like, it's time for you to go.
He shoots like he's wearing a backpack, and he's not wearing one. He's definitely not as big of a part of that team as he once was. I mean, you can get into it's part of what makes him hated by just about everybody else, but he's kind of like this emotional presence on the team, and he does do a little bit of he does a lot of the dirty work. He can play defense at multiple positions. He does a good job of getting guys open and facilitating, but he's not as valuable as he once was. And Jordan Poole, on the other hand, is on this massive upswing in his career. And you mentioned it. He's got a contract coming. I saw initial reports were something about like Jordan Poole's been acting differently since he kind of knew he was going to get this money, and maybe I don't really know.
Which, by the way, Steph Curry came out and flat out denied, said he's been nothing but a great teammate, and all the reports about that are bullshit. So take that for what it's worth.
So there you go.
Hi there. We have a guest here joining the podcast. I don't know who it is. Hi there.
How's it going?
Random drunk fans? I'm not sure.
All right.
We are live here, though. Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
We're live.
We are live. Yes, we are.
Live.
That
What are you
is-
talking about?
We're talking about Michigan football here. This is insane. So welcome to the Sports Illustrated platform, to my drunk friends here. I hope I hope millions of folks get the chance to see it. You guys are famous now. Thank you for stopping by.
That's unexpected. I didn't know that was going to happen.
This is what
tonight.
happens when you're on the road. This is what happens.
Sitting in the middle of a bar for no reason.
Winery. That's my family's wine.
Julian Winery?
Julian.
No kidding.
Yeah, no kidding.
My wife's a big fan of that wine.
Oh,
Well, there you go. We have a couple
There you
people
go.
stop by, say hello while we're talking about Draymond Green and Jordan Poole. Like, it threw me off a little bit. I thought maybe that was a fan of the winged helmet.
Listen,
or they
man,
heard us.
I'm
I don't
a
know.
pro at this point. I'm a pro. Throw whatever.
It's only 7:00. Are we sure alcohol was involved there? Are we positive?
I'm quite sure I was within breathing distance. So.
There you go. All right. So, yeah, I mean, the Draymond Green thing, the Jordan Poole thing, the video obviously helped to clear it up a little bit. I mean, when the first words, when the words first came out that it just happened, everybody's like, well, how the hell does that happen? What's going
Yeah.
Of course, everybody's like, gotta be Draymond's fault. Gotta be. I mean, like he's got a track record. He's got a reputation. And then you see the video and you're like, yeah, that's pretty much what I expected. Maybe a little bit of John. That happens every day on every level, on just about every sport. Teammates get in each other's faces. You get sick of seeing each other every single day. I mean, that happens.
I'm unfazable.
That happens. Getting up in someone's face, chest bumping, that happens. But then, you talk about actually throwing a punch at a guy. That's going a little far. I mean, it does happen, but that's not a regular occurrence.
But again, well, it's a regular occurrence if you're Draymond Green. Look at it. I'm getting bombarded. I don't know.
What is happening down there?
I mean, we got people that are interested here.
Oh, okay. Okay. I'm not
yeah.
sure what's happening right now.
It's a regular occurrence if you're Draymond Green. That's all I'll say. So I mean, you're right. When the report came out, we knew exactly who was going to be involved. It was just a matter of who was on the other side, and lo and behold, it's Jordan Poole. And then the video comes out, and I mean, it says everything you need to know about the situation. I don't care what Jordan Poole was saying. I don't care what the situation was. Draymond Green was 20 feet away. He made the journey over to Poole. He got into space. He made physical contact. And once that happens, it's done. It's over.
So are we still getting this, Chris?
We are.
I mean, I'll move on to the next segment.
I have no control.
I'm in
zero control.
I'm in the friendly confines of the room. You're up there. You're down there in public with, in the presence of alcohol.
Among the people.
He's a man of the people, folks. He's a man of the people.
I am a man of the people. I try to be.
I know. Chris, you can't see the comments. Here's a couple things coming through, Chris.
What is it? What are the comments? Let me see. I can't see anything down here.
Show her the tips. Well, guys,
the frosted tips.
I'm not in the vicinity, luckily.
Well, I don't have frosted tips. There's no tips on mine.
I think someone says show her the Android. That'll get rid of her, but I think he's using the phone.
It is an Android, by the way. I'm working with an Android.
I don't think she cares, dude.
The Android is not a deterrent. I repeat, the Android is not a deterrent.
this is the best day of my life.
It's the greatest day of her life.
That's
because she's on our. All right, here we go. We're about to. Hey, what's happening? Indianapolis is crazy.
Indianapolis, things are getting weird right now, man. All right,
Tony's coming. Tony's coming, everybody. Tony's coming.
All right, we're gonna go ahead.
What do we got for a segment here?
We're gonna go ahead and get into like Chris keeps looking up and looking over. I really kind of just want to see like what's happening down there.
No, you don't. You really don't. You really don't want to see it.
All right. I'm going to run a segment from Mediascapes. I'm going to give you a little bit of a break, Chris, and we'll see if things can calm down a little bit down there.
Appreciate you. Thank you very much.
Just listen to the Rich and Mediascapes for a minute. Good golly.
Hey, this is Rich from Mediascapes located in Burton. Let me fill you in a little bit about our business. We are a full-service sign and graphic company from banners, yard signs to vehicle wraps. When it comes to marketing your business, we also provide video and photography services as well as apparel and promotional items. If it's something that will make your business or organization stand out, we do it. And I guarantee we do it well. We are Mediascapes on Dorrit Highway, south of Bristol Road, just before Rock Bottom. Check out our work at Mediascapes.com. That's Mediascapes with a K.com.
As always, we'll finish up with the banner so you can see Mediascapes with a K. The phone number 810-410-4737 in Burton, Michigan. Check out Rich. Check out what they do over there. Chris has had some things, he's had a couple lines in the water over there at Mediascapes with some things coming up. I don't know how much.
I will say, listen, for the people who routinely ask about apparel, and I kind of have to say, it's coming. Brandon saw it today, right? Saw it in the ride down. Mm-hmm. It is coming. It is in the works. And there are variations of what's going to be offered, and it will be available before the Penn State game. We'll put it that way.
There you have it. So got some things coming. Some of it's winged helmet merch, some of it not. Just in terms of
a little bit. It's got a small little logo. Generally speaking,
it's not only the things you have seen so far. I'll put it that way. Let's put it that way.
You'll want one.
All right. You're dumb, you're smart, Chris. You get to call me stupid if you want to. You get to call me smart if you want to. This is a little different. I was crafting these in the car on the way here, so you have a little bit of a heads up as to what I'm about to say, which you typically do not. But that's all right. Okay. Number one, I forget. Do we do music for this segment? Should I not do music down there? You're playing it out loud. I mean, is that a little?
Well,
I mean, at this point,
I don't think noise is an issue down here. I don't think.
At this point, does it really matter at all?
I'm just trying to finish up before they come back from the bar, to be honest.
Number one, J.J. McCarthy will have 4 or less designed runs against the Hoosiers.
I think that's smart. I think, even though we heard all up to the season, he's a true dual threat. Obviously, the 4.4, depending on who you listen to, 4.4 speed if it's Harbaugh, 4.3 speed if it's JJ McCarthy. But either way, we know he's got that in him, but clearly Michigan hasn't really felt a need to try to use it. And I don't really see a need to try to use it this weekend in Bloomington against Indiana. To me, you're either going to run the ball with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, or you're going to let JJ McCarthy sling it all over the field. To me, just running it with him seems unnecessary, and I think that's probably how they're going to play it as well. So I'm going to go under as well. 4 design runs, I'll take under.
So JJ McCarthy has only carried the ball 14 times this year on actual running plays. I mean, if you throw in the sacks, it's slightly more than that. But on plays where he's either taking off, I guess I shouldn't have even said design runs. I mean, at this point, I would count a pass where he tucks it down and then goes to run. Any run that's on purpose. I guess that's a better way I should say it. Because at this point, he's just not really doing it. They're not doing a lot of zone read stuff. He's not doing a lot of scrambles to go pick up yards with his legs. 14 times in the course of 5 games, 4 of them which he started. It's not been a lot. So it seems like they're just not trying to do it for whatever reason. Maybe they don't need to do it yet. Maybe they're a little bit leery since Cade McNamara is not available as a backup. I don't know. We've asked about all those things. We've wondered about all those things. But yeah, for a guy who came in the game only to run the ball last year repeatedly and who can run in the 4.5, 4.4 range, he's not being used that way at all. And I kind of want to see it, but I also don't want the 190-pounder to get dinged up. I get it.
And you do have to wonder how much the injury to Cade McNamara has sort of changed their philosophy on that. I mean, obviously, you don't want to see J.J. McCarthy get injured ever, but, you're probably more apt to run him if you know you've got a seasoned veteran on the sideline that can come in and be more than serviceable. So that might be playing a factor. But like I said, no need to do that this weekend in Bloomington. You either run it with Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards, or fingers crossed, you let J.J. McCarthy go out and sling it 35, 40 times, not because he has to, not because Michigan needs to be Texas Tech, but because just one time it would be nice to let those boys go out and eat through the air.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, if it's not JJ running the ball, we do know somebody that will. It's Blake Corum. He's been on a tear. He's carried it 59 times over the last 2 weeks, dude. So this isn't about the number of carries, but rather the production. How good is he going to be against the Hoosiers on the road? Dumb or smart, Chris? Blake Corum will eclipse 125 yards rushing tomorrow.
Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, he's on a tear. He's found his groove, and I think the offensive line is starting to come along. I believe they're going to have all their starters on Saturday as well. The running game works, and I think based on what we've heard, the philosophy in-house is to continue to go to that time and time again until somebody proves they can stop it. And so I think you're going to see more of the same tomorrow. I do think Blake Corum is going to get a few more big chunk plays. I don't know that his carries are going to be quite as much as they have been over the last 2 games, but I do think he goes up over $125 fairly easily.
Yeah, John, this is where 27 doesn't sound weird at all. I mean, again, It was 30 against Maryland. It was 29 against Iowa. My only thing is what Chris just said. I can see some scenarios where Blake Corum is popping off some longer runs against the Hoosiers where he just didn't. I mean, he was incredible against Iowa, but it wasn't the 50-yarder. It wasn't the 60-yarder. I think you might see a little bit of that against against Indiana. So then you're like, all right, well, if he doesn't have to carry it 6-7 times on a drive because it only takes 2 carries to get down into scoring position, then that number is going to be a little bit down. If he carries it 27 times, wouldn't be surprised. Probably means the yards per carry isn't as good because I just don't think he's going to need to do it that much to get to 125 to be effective to get Michigan into the end zone or into scoring position. So I mean, it's my prediction, obviously, but I think 125 is a pretty attainable number for where he's at, how he's being used, and what I think is going to work against the Hoosiers. I mean, that's kind of what it comes down to in terms of the total yards rushing. Number 3. This is a little bit more of a gamble because these things are kind of, you've got some luck built in. But Chris, dumb or smart, Rod Moore will intercept a pass tomorrow.
I mean, I hate to call it dumb because I certainly think he has the opportunity to do so, but I guess I got to call you dumb at least during one of these deals. So I'm going to call you dumb. I don't think he comes up with a pick, but I could see, maybe a Will Johnson gets a pick. Maybe Mike Sainristil still gets one. I know he had the one against a 2-point conversion, but maybe Mike Sainristil still gets an interception. Maybe Jamon Green gets an interception. I just don't know that it's going to come from Rod Moore. I don't think it's stupid, but because I'm running out of opportunities to do it, I'm going to go ahead and call you dumb.
All right. Well, I just think back to the way that he picked one off earlier this year where, I mean, he just was, center field, read it. I mean, it was beautiful. The way he came forward, just picked it off, baited the quarterback into throwing it. He's been called a coach on the field. He's been called special since he arrived. His instincts, the way he manages to be around the ball. He just has that it factor. I mean, he wasn't the biggest recruit in the world. He's not the biggest player in the world, but he just seems to make plays. The coaches rave about him, dude. They think he's special in just about every way. He's only a sophomore. He just seems to be close to making plays a lot. And when Connor Bazelak in Indiana might throw the ball 55 or more times, that's a lot of opportunities for safeties to hang out back there and make a beat on one. And I think if somebody will do it, it will be Rod Moore. I don't disagree with you, dude. There might be 3 or 4 guys who get a chance to pick one off tomorrow. When you're throwing it that much, there's going to be some opportunity. But I'll go with Rod Moore because of how the coaches have talked about him and because I think there's going to be a lot of chances for him to really kind of play center field back there and get his hands on one. Another guy in the secondary, you just mentioned him, Mike Sainristil, dude. We've been all in the Mike Sainristil camp this year. Agent Zero, the visor, playing DB. Looks like he's been playing over there for a decade, man. He looks awesome on defense. Mikey Sainristil, dumb or smart, will lead the team in tackles tomorrow.
That's another dumb one. I mean, he's active.
right.
You know, I'm as big as of a Mike Sainristil fan as there is out there. Absolutely love the guy, not just for what he does on the field from an athleticism standpoint, but for the way he coaches up guys and sort of the leadership role he's taken on the team. I think he's grown a lot over the last year. Can't say enough good things about him. But to me, it's going to be Junior Colson. It's going to be, somebody at the linebacker position. But Junior Colson has been all over the place. And, if I had to put my chips in on somebody, it would be Junior Colson. So once again, dumb.
Let me try to change your mind a little bit. We
Let's
know
hear it.
that Indiana's going to want to throw the ball 100 times if they can. Over the middle, deep ball, crossing patterns, in and outs. I think Mike Sainristil is going to be in the area to make tackles a lot, more than linebackers will be. I can envision Mike Sainristil even being in the top 2 or 3 on the team in snap count tomorrow. Like the offense that they're playing, chasing slot guys around, playing down in around the box, which he does a lot too. I think he's just going to be around the ball a lot. Look, Junior Colson is leading this team in tackles, and it's by quite a bit. So your pick is probably the smart one. But I think the way that the game plays out, the way that Mikey's going to be around the ball, and the fact that he is third on the team in tackles himself, it's not like this is a huge leap. But yes, Colson has been much more productive in terms of stacking up numbers of tackles, but I think Mikey's going to have a big day. I think all of the DBs are really going to have to be on their game tomorrow with the way that Indiana plays, and that could lead to a lot of action for Mike Sainristil.
I'm not sure where he's at, but I just did an article on this the other day. I don't know where he's at in total tackles, but I think in solo tackles, he's either number 1 or number 2 on the team. I know that total over time and assisted tackles, he falls down the list a little bit. But when it comes time to like one-on-one and he's got to go make a tackle, like he is that dude. So, I mean, I hate to call you dumb on that one because I love Mike Sainristil, but I don't think it's going to be him tomorrow.
I remember. Did you tweet that or put it on the Facebook? I remember seeing that stat. If he was like number 1 on the team in solo tackles, with
solo
like 12
tackles,
13, I think.
Yeah.
So he's been outstanding, man. He's playing physical. He did have the pick on the 2-point conversion. Wouldn't be surprised to see him get himself a pick tomorrow against Connor Bazelak.
And according to one Mr. Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't make the same mistake twice. He is not a repeat. What is it? A repeat error? Wait, no.
Error repeater.
He's not an error repeater. That's what it is. Yeah. So whatever deficiencies, Mike, I know that, Harbaugh brought up one, where he kind of fell for like the shoulder shimmy there and kind of got off of his route. I just think he grows from week to week. And yeah, I mean, if he leads the team in tackles Saturday, I don't think anybody's going to be surprised by it.
There you have it. And last but not least, we've talked about this passing attack from Indiana. Jim Harbaugh mentioned it. He said they throw it a ton. The quarterback there is – dude, I'm going to throw a couple numbers out there. We were talking about this in the car on the way here. Connor Bazelak is leading the country in pass attempts with 246. Bro, he threw it almost as many times in one game as J.J. McCarthy has all season. J.J. McCarthy has thrown 84 passes this year. Connor Bazelak threw it 66 times in one game this year against Cincinnati. In a game,
now, granted, they lost.
Correct. They lost by 21. They're supposed to lose by a big chunk against Michigan tomorrow, so I think they're going to wing it all over the field.
Yeah.
But I think Michigan's defense is the fastest, most athletic, most talented, and probably the most versatile defense that Bazelak and the Hoosiers will see or have seen at this point. So I am saying, Chris, dumb or smart, Michigan will hold Connor Bazelak under 250 yards passing. So chew on that, and then I'll throw the number out there where he kind of typically lives based on this year's numbers.
Well, I think it's smart. I think he's going to throw it a lot. I think he's going to have a lot of attempts. I think he's going to, obviously they're going to try to get the ball out quick and not let that Michigan pass rush. It's real out here. It's real out here in the lobby. They don't want to let, the edge rushers get home. And so I think he's going to get the ball out quickly. I don't necessarily know that it's going to lead to a lot of completions. I don't know that it's going to lead to a lot of yards. They're still pretty sound in the secondary. What was it? 250 yards passing?
250.
Yeah, I don't think he gets there. I don't think he gets there at all.
CJ Frazier, I'm not going to lie. This is smart reasoning. Solid, strong reasoning. If Michigan's up big, he's going to be winging it around. I didn't watch the game, but I would imagine that's how he got to 66 throws against Cincinnati. Yeah. I mean, they lose that one by 3 touchdowns. That's all they're going to be doing at the end is throwing it. But, I mean, every game, it's like 66, 55, 52, 40. I mean, they
That's
throw
wild.
the ball. They throw the ball. So he's going to throw it whether they're leading, whether they're losing, whether it's late, whether it's early. Like, that's what they're going to do. Chris, just for peace of mind, Connor Bazelak averages about 280 yards passing. So to say that Michigan's going to keep him at 250 is not like this crazy reach. It's not like he's throwing for 450 every week.
Yeah.
But they do throw it a lot, and it's going to test Michigan's DBs. It's going to test those linebackers. We'll see what Indiana's able to scheme up. But I think they're gonna handle them. I mean, you look at what they were able to do against Talia Tagovailoa, some other teams that we expect to throw the ball a lot. They've been making it tough on guys, man. There's no doubt about it. So I think even though they're going to throw it a bunch, I think Michigan's going to be just fine. So there's my predictions, man. I was only dumb twice.
That's it.
Not bad.
That's not bad.
Yeah. All right. So this is where we're going to be a little abbreviated. I mean, Chris is taking live bullets out there. I don't know what the hell's going on.
It is live. I will say though, as I've been sitting here, groups of Michigan fans walking in and out, and we're not the only Wolverines who have chosen this location for the evening. I can tell you that.
There you go. So we're past the 30-minute mark now. I'm sure Chris would love to come up to the room and take his shoes off and maybe
grab
take
a
his
drink, possibly.
off. I don't know what he's going to do.
I just got to get out of here.
We'll finish it up with our predictions for the game itself. Michigan, Indiana, in Bloomington. Maybe they're going to wear the candy cane pants. I don't know. You never know what you're going to get out of them. Do they do that in football? They did that with the helmets before.
Yeah, they did. They striped it out, and it was like a chrome. It was like a chrome finish, I think, if I remember.
Yeah. Chris, somebody wants to know what's on your shirt. They're curious about the shirt choice today. It's a wild dog.
The dogs are out. We're just out here howling and barking. That's all it is.
There you have it.
We're letting them know we're not playing down here in Bloomington.
Running the fingers through the tips. Just for you, Zach. So, Chris, I'm not. When do we normally do the spread? Oh, it would be right now. All right. Well, okay. So Michigan is favored by 21.5. I wasn't sure if you knew that number yet or not. I don't think we've talked about it yet. And you're not a gambler. Haven't brought you over to the dark side yet. I'm working on it.
You're working on it.
Michigan favored by 21.5. First of all, what does that number do for you? Does that massage the teat, or how do you feel?
It seems like a safe number. It seems like a safe number. Although I don't think Michigan's going to cover based on my score prediction.
Okay, well then let's get right into it, Mr. Breiler. What do you see happening in Bloomington between the Wolverines and the Hoosiers tomorrow? What's your final score?
Wait. 21.5?
21.5. Did you screw up your math?
No. Well, my final score is 27-6. 27-6. 2 field goals by the Hoosiers. Yeah, so there you go.
Skreonk!
Hey!
Lobby donation. That's a lobby donation.
I wish I could see it. I'm earning it tonight, Skreonk. I'm earning it.
He loves the content and the tips. That's what he said. Thank you. That $19.99 paid for these bad boys right there.
My goodness. $20 for that?
All well spent. All right, so 27-6, dude. That's no points for Michigan. Are you confused?
What am I confused by? What?
27 against Indiana?
Yeah, I just I mean, look, they're. I know they've been averaging what? They're averaging over 44 points a game or something like that. I know they're scoring a lot of points. It's bound to happen that they're going to come down to earth a little bit one of these weeks. I think it happens this weekend, unless they start slinging the ball over the field, unless they let that passing game open up. I can see it being a situation where it's, again, similar to Iowa City at Kinnick, where you're up 20-0 at halftime, and then the final score ends up being 27-6. So I think they're going to come out fast. I think they're going to dominate. But if everything holds course like it has, they're going to take their foot off the gas in the second half, and they're going to play to basically protect the lead that they've built.
Since you can't see the comments, I'm going to have to do this.
Pulled it out, showed it to you.
Pull it out and show it to you this way. T-Mac McLean, Chris, are you day drinking? Only 27. He's on the same wavelength as me. But you just explained yourself. It's not crazy.
Yeah. I don't think that they're going to score 40 points every single game. I think that there's going to be, one or two games where they're under that. I know Indiana doesn't really have that great of a defense, but hey, look, what is this? JJ is Jake Rudock. Listen, that's the only saving grace. If Jake Rudock can throw for 6 touchdowns against the Hoosiers, then surely JJ McCarthy can and that's under a Jim Harbaugh offense. So it's not like we were, you didn't have another coach in town when that was happening. Again, let the kid carve up a secondary for an afternoon. Let him get that under his belt. Let him see that he can do it. Let the wide receivers get the ball in their hands. And then, next week against, Penn State, you go back to the bread and butter and you run it with Blake Corum. But at the very least, you've got that in the tank.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, I got a much more lopsided score than that. I've got Michigan winning 42-13. I think Michigan's going to handle the Hoosiers. I know it's on the road. I'm not convinced that their offense can move the ball against Michigan. I think Michigan's going to be able to – I think they're going to be able to do whatever they want on offense. I think you're going to get a lot of Blake Corum. I think JJ's going to get in the mix. I think you're going to see a little bit of everybody involved. I think Michigan's going to win pretty easily. Again, the spread's 21.5. I got them dusting that by quite a bit. I don't know, man. I know Indiana's been tough against Michigan in recent years, and you see some times where you're like, damn, like, how are they hanging in there like that? A couple of years ago, Michael Penix, they give him a pretty good beatdown. It was 2020. I know. I don't see it. I think Michigan's going to wipe them up tomorrow. I think it's going to be pretty easy. Oh, do we have a return visitor? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She is back, folks. She's back. Just in time because we're finishing up with our predictions and getting ready to pack it in a little bit. But I do think Michigan is going to win pretty handily. And
I hope so.
You're a Michigan fan?
I'm actually an SEC fan.
Boom! Ow!
What does that even mean? You're an SEC fan?
I'm not even sure that I'm going to be able to finish down here, to be quite honest.
Hey, what's happening?
It's getting a little bit.
God damn it!
We are live, sir. We are live.
God damn it!
Damn it! I'm gonna go ahead and log out.
All right. Well, there you go. Chris is done. That is a wild ride. Quinn, thank you so much, man. Thank you so much for the $20, and I will answer every question on here. One, where is the visor? You know what, dude? It's here. I think it got left in the car. And that is a travesty. I apologize. I will make up for it with the visor in another way. But it's here. It made the trip. White, crispy, clean. I had it on when Chris pulled up to the house, and he almost turned around and left. He almost couldn't take it. So there you go. I do have the visor. It will make an appearance. Number 2 for Quinn. JJ throws for 300 and Blake runs for 109 plus. It sounds pretty likely. It doesn't seem unrealistic. It sounds like something they could get done on a 1 to 10 scale. How likely is that? I'll give it a 5. I'm a little bit. The Blake thing is all day. It's the 300 yards for JJ. I just don't know if we're going to see that. Dude, it feels like ever. Are we ever going to see that? I would love to see it. More than talented enough to do it. Plenty of weapons. You know the drill. It's not something that Jim Harbaugh likes to do. So anyway, there you have it. I'm going to start logging out. Chris is probably going to be at the door here momentarily. I don't know if he has a key or not. We will find out here in a second. But, I got to thank everybody for the support. I got to thank Chris for just battling through it down there. He's in the foxhole, man. I did not expect that. That's a pretty nice place, man. It's called the Omni. There he is. He made it, dude. He's alive and well. It's called the Omni. It's downtown Indy. It looks nice when you walk in. Chris was being accosted from start to finish. I don't know if we had Chris at 100% that whole time. He was constantly looking off in the – he looked like he was in enemy territory. It was – that was a wild ride. I don't know what else to say. So there's 38 minutes for you. We're at the hotel. We'll be in Bloomington tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us. There's your guy. I'm leaning the wrong way. There's your guy right there. That's the MVP of the night. He's got to hydrate now. He's going to – I don't even know what. Dude, where's the visor? Did we leave it in the car? Oh, man, that's a dropped pass right there is what that is. I will make it up to you. I will be better. What's that speech Tim Tebow gave? I just gave that same speech about my visor. There you go. Everybody, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you later. We'll see you, I think, tomorrow morning on the drive-in. That's a drive-in pregame show on the way to the stadium. That's the plan. And then, of course, we'll see you after the game as well. Thanks, everybody. Take care.